here was not called a foul. And wow, I gotta tell you, it was on and popping in this game.
Make a move to try to keep Burton off.
Caitlin crashed out on the refs. Right here. Right here. She lost it. And you could tell at one point in the game, later after this, she got pulled out of the game, and I think she slammed the table on the way out of the game. But this is another look at this, real close.
I've got to be honest, the officials allow...
The world of basketball has been rocked by a stunning new controversy, and this latest revelation has fans questioning everything they thought they knew. A respected sports journalist has uncovered claims that suggest the Indiana Fever may have been involved in a coordinated effort to undermine Caitlin Clark from within. As insiders continue revealing details about what they describe as deliberate attempts to control the narrative surrounding the sophomore superstar, concern is reportedly growing at the highest levels of the league. The situation is raising serious questions, and the truth may be far more complicated than anyone expected. Has the Indiana Fever's handling of Caitlin Clark become the biggest mistake the organization has made in years? Before we dive into the full story, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy in-depth basketball coverage like this. Believe it or not, more than 83% of the people watching these videos still haven't subscribed. It only takes a second, it's completely free, and it helps the channel continue bringing you the latest stories, analysis, and breaking developments. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much for your support. It truly means a lot. Now, let's get into today's story.
Are they, like, my only logic is that they are hoping that something bad happens during this game tonight, so that they can say, well, look, this has happened. This is, we're reporting this whole fan base and something happened tonight.
Okay, so the Indiana Fever are facing one of the biggest controversies of the season, and according to many critics, they've brought much of this scrutiny on themselves. A respected, credentialed sports reporter with legitimate sources inside league circles has now shared claims that suggest there may have been a coordinated effort to minimize Caitlin Clark's impact on the game and control the narrative surrounding her rapid rise. These allegations are creating serious discussion across the basketball world and raising questions that fans can't ignore. This isn't coming from some anonymous social media account with a handful of followers and a basketball emoji in the profile picture. This is a journalist with established league connections, years of credibility, and access to people who actually work behind the scenes. When someone with that level of access starts making claims like these, people pay attention. According to the report, the concern isn't simply about basketball decisions or on-court strategy. The bigger issue is the growing belief that efforts may have been made to shift attention away from Caitlin Clark's influence rather than fully embrace what she's brought to the franchise and to the league. If those claims hold any truth, the fallout could extend far beyond one organization and raise larger questions about leadership, communication, and the way one of the WNBA's biggest stars has been handled during the early stages of her professional career.
Referee some credit here. Referee didn't even give her a technical. In this moment, this was the first time I've ever seen that the referee actually treated her like her name was LeBron James.
Let's call it exactly what many critics are describing it as: one of the biggest public relations disasters the WNBA has faced in recent years. According to those critics, the Indiana Fever finally achieved the national attention the franchise had been hoping for, yet instead of fully embracing the moment, they appeared to become caught in a controversy that shifted the conversation away from basketball and directly toward Caitlin Clark, the player widely credited with bringing millions of new fans to the league. Much of the debate centered around the now widely discussed investigation into alleged racial remarks during the Indiana Fever's matchup against the Golden State Valkyries. Remember that game? It was the same night Caitlin Clark recorded a spectacular triple-double. The Fever didn't just win, they dominated the Golden State Valkyries by 35 points, while setting multiple franchise and league milestones along the way. Instead of celebrating one of the biggest performances of the season, attention quickly shifted toward an investigation that, according to reports at the time, began after allegations circulated on social media rather than from publicly released video or audio evidence. Respected USA Today sports columnist Christine Brennan later reported additional details that added even more fuel to the discussion. According to her reporting, sources claimed the investigation was viewed by some as becoming a much larger media story than the basketball itself. Those reports alleged that attention had shifted away from Clark's historic performance and toward controversy surrounding the game. Brennan's reporting also referenced concerns within league circles about maintaining balanced media coverage across the WNBA. According to the reported internal discussions, officials were debating how to ensure attention remained distributed throughout the league rather than focusing overwhelmingly on one player. Supporters of Clark argued that this reflected a broader pattern they believed had existed since her arrival in the WNBA. They pointed to the continued criticism of her defense, the limited attention given to some of her statistical achievements, and the frequent focus on her reactions, body language, and emotions during games. To many of those fans, it no longer appeared to be a collection of isolated stories. Instead, they believed it reflected a larger media narrative surrounding one of the league's biggest stars. The investigation itself became one of the strongest examples cited by those critics. Several days after it was announced, there was still no public timeline for its conclusion, leading to even more speculation online. Some fans argued that if clear evidence existed, the process would likely have moved much more quickly. Others urged patience, noting that investigations often require time, and that conclusions should be based on verified information rather than online discussion. Former coaches, media members, and people connected to the game also weighed in publicly, with several saying they had not personally heard any inappropriate remarks during the contest. Many fans who attended the game similarly stated that what they experienced sounded like the typical crowd noise and competitive atmosphere that accompanies professional basketball. Despite those differing opinions, the controversy continued growing, keeping the spotlight on the investigation rather than on one of the most impressive performances of Caitlin Clark's young professional career. Many fans pointed out that the sound heard during the game closely resembled a common crowd sound effect frequently heard in NBA arenas, including Indiana Pacers games. Some believed that ordinary arena noise was being misunderstood and later presented online as something far more serious. To those observers, the entire controversy appeared to grow from a misunderstanding rather than verified evidence. That naturally raises another question. If there is no publicly available audio or video confirming the allegations, why has the investigation continued for so long? According to Christine Brennan's reporting, some league sources claimed officials were taking additional time before reaching a conclusion, hoping to fully review every available piece of information before closing the matter. Those reports fueled speculation among fans, with many questioning whether the controversy itself had begun overshadowing the basketball. Critics argued that prolonged uncertainty wasn't helping anyone. Instead of providing clarity, they believed it was creating even more confusion. Others countered that investigations involving serious allegations should be completed carefully rather than rushed. Regardless of which side people supported, one thing became clear. The story had already shifted away from the game itself. According to Brennan's reporting, one league source questioned how, in an era where nearly every moment inside an arena is captured by phones, television cameras, and social media, no publicly verified audio or video had surfaced confirming the alleged remarks. That observation quickly became one of the biggest talking points surrounding the investigation. Meanwhile, many Indiana Fever supporters felt the organization and its fan base had been placed under an uncomfortable spotlight before any public findings had been released. As discussions spread across social media, a narrative began forming long before the investigation had reached a conclusion. For many fans, perception was beginning to outweigh verified facts. Others argued that opening an investigation was still appropriate whenever serious allegations arise, regardless of what the eventual findings might be. The debate quickly expanded beyond one game. It became a larger discussion about how professional sports leagues handle controversy, public perception, and media attention. Inside league circles, Brennan also reported that some employees had expressed concerns about the WNBA's overall direction as Caitlin Clark's popularity continued growing at an unprecedented pace. According to those reports, some officials worried that casual fans were becoming focused almost entirely on one player instead of following the league as a whole. Rather than seeing that attention as an opportunity to introduce new viewers to every team and every star, critics argued that too much effort appeared to be directed toward balancing the spotlight. That question continues dividing basketball fans. Why would a league that has spent decades fighting for larger audiences, stronger television ratings, and greater national recognition appear hesitant to fully embrace the attention generated by its biggest attraction? According to Brennan's reporting, one explanation discussed internally involved maintaining broader media exposure across the league. Some officials reportedly believed that allowing one player to dominate every headline could make it more difficult for other stars and teams to receive meaningful coverage. Supporters of that approach viewed it as an effort to promote competitive balance off the court as well as on it. Critics, however, argued that history tells a very different story. Every major professional sports league has benefited from iconic superstar athletes who attracted millions of new fans before those fans eventually became interested in the league as a whole. Brennan's reporting also suggested that some people within league leadership had concerns about how quickly the WNBA's audience was changing. According to those sources, discussions included questions about the league's rapidly expanding fan base and how those new viewers fit into the WNBA's long-term vision. One source reportedly described the situation as confusing, arguing that new fans should be viewed as an opportunity for growth rather than with skepticism. For decades, the WNBA has worked to increase attendance, television audiences, sponsorships, and mainstream visibility. Now, with unprecedented public attention surrounding the league, many believe the biggest challenge isn't attracting new fans, it's deciding how to embrace that momentum while continuing to promote the league as a whole. Much of that growth has been credited to Caitlin Clark's popularity. She has helped bring unprecedented attention to women's basketball. Yet according to the claims in Brennan's reporting, some people inside the league appear to view that attention as a problem instead of an opportunity. Let's be clear. Caitlin Clark isn't just popular. She's helping introduce women's basketball to an entirely new audience. Her games continue to break television viewership records. Arenas are selling out. Merchandise is flying off the shelves. Networks are competing for broadcast rights. By every measurable standard, women's basketball is experiencing a level of attention it has rarely seen before. Most leagues would celebrate that kind of momentum. Instead, critics argue we've seen investigations sparked by social media posts and reports of internal efforts to reduce the amount of attention focused on the league's biggest star. According to Brennan's reporting, examples of this pattern stretch back to the beginning of Clark's professional career. When Clark broke the NCAA all-time scoring record, internal discussions reportedly encouraged media outlets to emphasize that she had played more games than previous record holders instead of simply highlighting the historic achievement. When the WNBA draft attracted record-breaking television ratings, some critics felt the league focused more on promoting the strength of the entire draft class rather than acknowledging Clark's influence on those numbers. Another example came during Clark's rookie season. After recording her first WNBA triple-double and becoming the fastest rookie in league history to reach that milestone, many fans noticed that the league's official social media initially highlighted a different statistical achievement from another player in the same game. Only after significant criticism from fans did Clark's historic performance receive the level of recognition many believed it deserved. Perhaps the most controversial claim in Brennan's reporting goes beyond marketing and social media. According to the report, discussions also involved officiating. Basketball fans regularly debate how referees call games involving superstar players. Veteran stars often receive certain calls that younger players have to earn over time. That's nothing new. However, Brennan quoted a former referee who said discussions about specifically limiting one player's impact or popularity through officiating would be highly unusual. If true, some fans believe it could help explain why Clark's officiating has remained such a major topic throughout her WNBA career. After frequently drawing contact during her college career, many supporters argue she hasn't consistently received the same whistle as a professional. They also point to the level of physical defense allowed against her, claiming it often appears different from what many other guards experience. The WNBA has strongly denied those allegations. In its official response, the league described Brennan's reporting as baseless and without merit. At the same time, critics noted that the statement did not directly address each individual claim or explain why the league opened an investigation after allegations circulating on social media before any publicly released corroborating evidence had been presented. The reaction from basketball fans was immediate. Across social media, thousands of people expressed frustration with how the league has handled the situation. Many questioned what they viewed as a double standard, arguing that online attacks directed at certain players often receive little attention, while unverified allegations connected to an arena crowd can quickly become the focus of an official investigation. Others believe this is part of a larger pattern, one that suggests the WNBA has become uncomfortable with its own success. Every time television ratings climb, every time new fans begin following the league, another controversy seems to emerge instead of the focus remaining on the game's growth. Perhaps the most frustrating part of this entire situation is that it takes attention away from the basketball itself. The quality of play in the WNBA has never been better. The talent level continues to reach new heights. The game is faster, more skilled, and more entertaining than ever, with increased three-point shooting, better offensive execution, and higher scoring. Young players are entering the league more prepared, while veteran stars are extending their careers through improved training and conditioning. At the center of this new era is Caitlin Clark. Since her rookie season, Clark has continued to elevate her game. She's improved defensively, become more efficient offensively, and continues to make history with her unique combination of elite scoring and exceptional playmaking. Her sophomore season has been outstanding. Yet instead of celebrating those accomplishments, critics argue the league has repeatedly found ways to shift attention elsewhere. Rather than using Clark's popularity to elevate the WNBA as a whole, some believe there has been an effort to reduce the spotlight surrounding her. If true, that approach wouldn't just hurt Clark. It would hurt every player in the league. After all, rising tides lift all boats. When millions of people tune in because of Caitlin Clark, they also discover stars like Aja Wilson, Breanna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, Angel Reese, Kelsey Plum, and many other incredible athletes who continue to elevate women's basketball. Those new viewers don't simply become Indiana Fever fans. Many become lifelong fans of the WNBA. The numbers appear to support that idea. Television ratings have increased across the league, not just during Indiana Fever games. Social media engagement continues to rise for multiple teams. League-wide merchandise sales have also grown significantly. Clark's popularity doesn't appear to be taking attention away from anyone else. Instead, it's expanding the entire ecosystem. So why does there seem to be resistance? According to Brennan's reporting, part of the answer may come down to control. For years, the WNBA operated within a relatively small media environment. Coverage was limited. The fan base was passionate, but comparatively small, allowing the league to maintain a consistent narrative. Clark's arrival changed that. She brought mainstream attention that no longer fits neatly inside the league's traditional structure. According to the report, some within the organization preferred the slower, more controlled pace of growth that existed before. They were comfortable maintaining the status quo. Clark represents something entirely different. She represents explosive growth, unpredictable attention, and a shift in the balance of influence throughout the league. History has seen similar situations in many industries. Established organizations often resist disruptive change, even when that change creates tremendous opportunities. The music industry initially fought against streaming platforms. Traditional taxi companies resisted ride-sharing services. Major change often threatens existing power structures. But history also shows that those who resist inevitable change frequently find themselves left behind. Right now, the WNBA has an incredible opportunity. It can embrace this momentum, welcome millions of new fans, and continue growing the league to levels never seen before. However, if Brennan's reporting is accurate, some individuals within the league may be working against that very opportunity. The irony is difficult to ignore. After spending years fighting for greater visibility, larger audiences, and increased financial support, critics argue that some people now appear uncomfortable because that success arrived in a way they didn't expect. Throughout all of this, Caitlin Clark has remained remarkably composed. She simply said, "I'm focused on basketball. The only things I can control are how I play and how I treat people." Aaliyah Boston, the former number 1 overall pick, who many expected might feel overshadowed by Clark's arrival, has consistently embraced her as a teammate. When asked about the reports surrounding an alleged agenda against Clark, Boston said, "It's disappointing to see. That level of maturity is impressive for any professional athlete, especially someone still so early in her career." Clark's teammates have echoed similar support, praising her work ethic, leadership, and importance to both the Indiana Fever and the league. Golden State Valkyries head coach Natalie Nakase also deserves recognition. Despite watching her team lose by 35 points, she refused to support claims that she did not personally witness. Nakase stated that she heard nothing inappropriate from the Indiana crowd. No racial remarks. No unacceptable behavior. Just a passionate basketball atmosphere. She could have remained silent. She could have allowed speculation to continue. Instead, she simply shared what she experienced. That honesty stood in sharp contrast to anonymous claims circulating across social media after the game. Perhaps the most concerning element of Brennan's reporting involves this summer's WNBA All-Star Weekend in Indianapolis. According to her sources, discussions have reportedly taken place about whether the controversy surrounding the Indiana Fever and Golden State Valkyries game could affect planning for the event. Whether those conversations ultimately change anything remains to be seen. What happens next will likely shape not only this season, but also the public perception of the league moving forward. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe the WNBA is handling this situation appropriately? If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest coverage. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.